Okay, so what I want to do now is try to bring in these chairs as RBD objects in the DOP network, and also try to constrain our agents to them. Okay, so we've got our chairs here, but we need to set up some names on them. Okay, so drop that, press P, and just to create names. Okay, and let's give it something meaningful, chair. So each one of these will have a unique name now. Okay, and that will help us create constraints between the chairs and the agents. So we just need to, let's see, attribute promote I need because we need that name attribute on the points. Okay, for a DOP sim. So just promote that up. So we've got on the points, we've got the name attribute there. Okay, so then let's just make sure that's working. Drop that into the third input, jump inside, and then we want another object. So this time we will need a packed RBD packed object. Okay, and let's drop a merge. Oops. Connect these together. Yeah. The order does matter here. I think it corresponds to the order that you've got here, so do it that way around. And then, so this will be, we want active objects, yes, from the third context now. And there we see, you can see them dropping in. Let's take a look at the geometry, show guide geometry. So this is no good, obviously, but if we create convex hull per, there we go, and we get something much better there. Okay, so it's going to look for connected 3D, connected primitive. Okay, so each of these now is like a separate piece in itself. And you could try a box. No, that's not going to work for us. Yeah, we're going to have to stick with convex hull to use this so that it works correctly. Great, let's turn that off. It runs a bit slower. Let's just play this and make sure it runs through. Cool. So we've got our agents falling onto our chairs. See, this way, the whole chair here, without having to constrain it together, because the name is the same for the whole thing, for each one of these objects, is considered one object, and I don't have to constrain them together with anything. So let's try and constrain the agents to the chairs, right? So if I jump back out here, what I'm going to do is use these constraints, which have already been built, to build new constraints, right? So I don't want to constrain the whole skeleton, the whole rig, right? So if I drop a delete, I just want, like, the idea is some of them will be kind of strapped in with seat belts, right? So I'm just going to grab one of them, which is called, it's on the points, add name is spine 1, and if I delete non-selected, hide that, and you can see we've got one point, right? Great, and let's see, we need to create a connect adjacent pieces with that. Well, first we'll need a merge to merge these points with, if I drop an add, grab the points from the chairs, delete geometry, so I've got those points, merge them together, connect adjacent pieces in there, and at the beginning we won't get anything, so I want to set this up to adjacent points and put the search radius up, and there we go, we start to get something. I'm going to set that to 1, max search points to 2, so that way I don't get points between the two agents. I just want the agents to the points. Okay. And then let's see, we need to set a name on this. Okay, so on the primitives, so whenever any constraint attributes need to be set on the primitives. So if you remember, I was talking about the constraints name earlier. Constraint underscore name will be, and I'm going to call this pin. Okay, because I want these to lock. And then I'll just have to set up a constraint for this, and then we can just merge these up with the constraints that we already have. Drop that in there. Okay, jump inside. So at the moment here we've just got this one, so we need to generate another one. We can just use a glue constraint, and then what's important is that we just call this pin down here. It's just whatever we called it earlier. I'm going to set the strength to -1, that way they'll never break, and I think that should be it. Let's see if that works. Great, so they're all constrained to the chairs now, but I don't want them all constrained to the chairs. I want some of them constrained and some not. So we'll just need to set up some way of deleting randomly some of these. So we could do similar to what we did here, but another way, just to show you, we could use a wrangle, do it all in there. So we're going to run over points again, and we're going to set up a random value using, well, we can use an if statement, and if the random value generated on the points using the point number as this, and I'm going to add this seed as well. Call that seed. Oops. So that I can change which I'm deleting, because I think here we do have a seed. Yeah, well, this is basically the same thing as we're doing in these two nodes, but just another way of doing it. Minus the just bear with me a moment while I get this. So we're just creating some spare inputs here. Close the two brackets, and then for our condition we're going to delete the point, right? So remove point is our function. The geometry is the first input. The point number will be whichever one we are iterating over at the moment. So that should be it. If we press this and delete, if we rise this up, you can see we're deleting more and more. And let's do this after the isolation of these points here. Cool. Okay, and I'm going to do a 0.5 and a 0.5. Also, on our agents here, so our camera is going to be here, and yeah, the idea with these constraints is that the agents are kind of wearing seatbelts, right? So they're stuck to the chair, and we don't have that geometry, so I don't want the agents right in the front to have these constraints. So I'm going to just set up another delete, and just by bounding box delete the ones at the front here. Okay, so oops. So we want this on the points, delete, yeah, selected, bounding volume, sorry, bounding box. Just bring this in here. If I do this after this one, it'll be a bit easier to see what I'm doing. There we go. Just make that a bit bigger. And I'm just going to delete those back to there. Okay, so that way we're not getting any constraints on these guys. So let's see how many does that give us. Good, that looks okay. Constrain them. Cool. Okay, and then let's see what that does to our sim. Make sure we refresh it. Cool. Yeah, so we got a few that are falling off and a few that are constrained to the chairs.